Alrighty, I am doing a weight loss update here with Ollie. She's probably not going to stay still very long. She wants to run around, so I'm probably gonna, well, actually it's too cold to put her outside. I'll probably let her run around my office. Anyways, I thought I'd do a little update. My weight's been a little bit stalled lately, but it finally started dropping again, so this morning I weighed in at 206.9, which is fine. I would like to lose 2 more pounds before the end of April, but hey, I can't make my body do anything I don't want it to do. Well, it doesn't want to do. So, here's hoping. But I was stalled out for a really long time, and I was keeping up a really sizable calorie deficit, so I'm hoping it was just cyclical, and thanks, Ollie. And the weight loss is starting to catch up with the reality. So, aside from that, I did want to talk really briefly while watching the finches out my window about some things I had been thinking about, and one of those was I was thinking a lot about. I've been thinking a lot about like variety of food lately. I guess I was mostly thinking about this because I was watching a really infuriating video, or rather, I was watching a reaction to a really infuriating video by Abby Sharp. And I find Abby Sharp to be completely just the most annoying. She's like, oh, I'm recovering from orthorexia. I'm like, bitch, you're the most orthorexic person I've ever heard. Everything has to be perfect. And I'm like, dude, I drink Dr. Pepper, so I'm not even about talking to you. But yeah, I was watching it, and I think one of her major hang-ups seems to be like having perfect variety with every meal, and I'm like, you know how much work it is to put variety into your diet? And honestly, it doesn't do that much for you. Like, people got along fine for thousands of years with relatively little variety in their diets, or at least seasonally very limited variety. Ollie, please don't eat yourself onto the floor. But yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about, like, a lot of times complain about, like, oh, I couldn't eat this every day, I would get bored. But then I think about it, and I was thinking about myself, and you know, other people. Obviously, I don't know the details of every single person's diet that I know. Ollie. But honestly, people generally don't have that much variety, and they're like, they don't realize that they don't have that much variety in their diet because they're eating what they want to, but honestly, they'll just eat the same thing pretty much every day, or they'll eat like the few things on rotation. And I mean, that's whenever I've been eating unhealthy or eating just normally, like that's usually how I eat too, where I'll have like the one thing I'll want to eat every day, or a few different things I want to eat every week. And sometimes that'll change, but within a time period, it'll remain pretty much the same. And I think that's how a lot of people eat. So, and I was kind of having a moment with my diet where I was like, ugh, I should probably change up what I'm doing, but I found these few recipes I really like, and I was just making them over and over, and I was like, wait, these few recipes have like really good macros and nutrients for what I'm doing. Why do I need to change them? Especially if they're really filling and they're really working for me. So I'm like, wait, I'm just gonna make this same thing over and over. I really like it. So, yeah, I kind of like got over that, and I was like, wait, I can just, like, if this is easy for me, and I can make a lot of it and eat it all in 1 week, that works fine. And so, like, honestly, usually I do kind of change how I'm eating every few weeks, but within that time period, it's kind of the same. Like, right now I'm eating, instead of what I was doing before, where I was eating a lot of roasted vegetables, I'm eating, like, spinach salads, which I just kind of get a craving for every once in a while. I'll eat spinach salads that have crumbled up egg and some low-fat vinaigrette. Ollie. Oh, she sees a buggo. I'm gonna kill that buggo, because that buggo shouldn't be there. Die, buggo. Okay. But yeah, and so I was like, why is the hang up over variety? And so I started to realize, like, I think variety is just one of those things that you get a hang up on when you think, like, I'll never be able to stick to this. I'm like, really, you need to find what you really like and ride that train as long as you can until you get bored with it. And then you can make the effort to change and find something else. Like, I don't need to cook something different every single week. I wasn't doing that before. So yeah, I was just thinking about that. And honestly, like I said, in the past, honestly, we tend to have, in general, better nutrition, or we have better access to nutrition than people have in the past. And that's obvious. Like, we don't usually have a lot of cases of rickets nowadays. And scurvy was even rare back then, but, sailors got it. But honestly, we have a lot more access to variety nowadays, when really people, I think the only real variety that people had a lot of access to was probably in their vegetables, and even then that was mostly just because you had to chase what was seasonally available. So I think people of the past, from what I've seen, probably ate a little more variety in their vegetables, but they also didn't necessarily have access to them all year, or if they did, they were eating pickled varieties. Like, that's a big thing in Japan, is pickled vegetables, which are delicious, but I'm not really about like making sunomono. And so, or I've never tried to. I think it's not that hard. It's not as expensive as like making actual pickles. But yeah, I mean, whatever variety people had, that's just what they ate. And obviously we grow taller and we get fatter now, but I mean, generally our nutrition is okay unless you're just eating complete garbage. And even then, like, that's the reason why we have things like enriched bread, is basically to trick people into getting nutrients. So yeah, I'm not as worried about it as I had been previously. And I was thinking, it's like, yeah, maybe worrying about variety is just something that me, as a single person trying to cook for myself and do 10 million other things, is just not something I'm that worried about. So yeah, and besides, the thing that I really have liked making recently is a soup called avogalemono. I hope I'm pronouncing that even somewhere close to correct. It's a Greek soup, and it's basically like a chicken soup with rice and lemon and egg in it. It's really lemony, and I really, really, really like that. But it's got like a kind of a standard mirepoix base with chicken broth, and then you add the rice, and then you make a cream base for it with egg and lemon. It's really freaking good. I'm gonna eat some of it later for sure, but I just ate right now, so I'm not. But yeah, that's basically what's going on. And that's it. I would love to be below 205 by the end of April, but that's just kind of, whether I'll even lose weight from here is kind of questionable, but just because my body is being very, very stubborn about it. But I would love to be below 200 pounds by the end of May, like I had originally thought. But even getting close would be really, really nice. So that's it. Ollie, you content? She's running around now. Ollie, that's a piece of plastic. Just because it's yellow doesn't mean it's food.